Welcome back to Hannity. Well, they did it again. Now, yesterday, the New York Daily News printed this disgusting cover, which was entitled, "God Isn't Fixing This," along with comments from Republicans saying that their thoughts and prayers were with the victims in San Bernardino. And today, the liberal paper once again outdid themselves. Now, they called the executive vice president and CEO of the NRA, Wayne LaPierre, a terrorist. He's a terrorist. Then they put terrorist there and then said he is too. Joining us now, former executive director of Everytown for Gun Safety, Mark Glaze, and former NYPD detective Bo Dietl. Mark, I'm a proud member of the NRA. I've been a marksman since I'm 11 years old. Let me ask you a question. If, God forbid, you're in a room like the 14 victims and the 21 other victims that are fighting for their lives and trying to get well, if you're in that room, Bo Dietl carries a gun, Sean Hannity's trained in the use of a firearm, do you want us in there with you if that's unfolding?
You know, the truth is, I mean, I shot guns. My dad is
I didn't ask you that.
My dad's a federally licensed gun dealer. I'm going to answer your question.
Well,
I might well want you with me because, you know, you might give me a little bit of a chance. But the truth is, you know, any law enforcement official will tell you, a civilian with a gun is not going to stop somebody who comes in with an AR-15 and body armor.
Let me tell you, because Bo and I have been out together. And Bo and I would communicate with our eyes, and he would go this way, and I would go that way, and we would do our level best.
You communicate with your eyes?
Would we be able to? Would we be able to, in a situation like that, when they dropped their first clip and they were reloading, wouldn't you have been able to take them out?
Well, I mean, if someone, let me talk, please. If someone comes in there and starts a shooting, and he unloads his clip, I'll be damned if I stand there and Sean would stand there and let him reload another clip before you start firing at the guy. It is definitely, they go into these gun-free zones like that place that they went in California.
Inland Regional
Was that just, I mean, there's so many terrorist attacks and shooting attacks. Not if they're terrorists, domestic terrorists, they go in with his gun-free zone. If they know that no one else has an arm, the movie theater where no one could go back at them. Guns don't kill people. People kill them. And if they don't have guns, these terrorists, what they're going to have next are going to be bombs, chemical war weapons. What are we going to do now?
They had the IED making equipment. They had 15 pipe bombs and it looks like a duplicate
just imagine,
was on the Al Qaeda site.
They didn't have any body armor on. Just imagine if one person in that office, when he came in there shooting at the party, if one person had a legal firearm on him, I mean, was proficient in it, and all of a sudden when the clips drop out,
boom,
he was able to shoot these two, then we could have saved a lot of people.
You know, it's interesting, Mark. I bet you everybody watching at home, listening to Bo Dietl and listening to me, would speak the obvious. Yes, it would be a good thing if a trained person with a firearm was in that room. And you say, well, maybe, because you've got an agenda. And your agenda is you don't want people to have weapons. And somehow in your twisted liberal brain, you kind of believe that the weapons are the problems or that criminals will obey laws. You know what? I just don't buy that. And Americans are sitting ducks because people like you don't want law-abiding citizens to have guns.
Is there a question in here somewhere?
Not really. I mean, I just think I think, well, not for you, because I think you've already made up your mind. Because you're not being honest. Wouldn't you really want me and Bo in there?
I think law-abiding citizens ought to have guns.
Wouldn't you want me and Bo in there? Would you want us in there or not?
No, I would actually like a police officer or a security guard.
He's a detective.
Yeah, but you know what I'd like? I'd like more people to join gun clubs and practice and be proficient with their weapon. So if something happens, at least we have a damn chance. If you don't have a gun, you can't fight someone with a gun without a gun. I don't care. I'm in the security business now. They ask for unarmed security. I said, well, that's not really security, because if someone comes in with a gun.
I got two things for you.
Yeah.
I got two things for you. First of all, I think that's fine. If you're a law-abiding citizen, get a gun, go practice, and get a concealed carry permit. I think that's perfectly okay. Second thing is, I would rather keep guns away from people like these terrorists who shouldn't have them in the first place. I think that's a better solution.
I think a better solution is maybe not having 72 people on the terror watch list that work for the Department of Homeland Security. Did you know that, Mark?
I didn't. And, you know, look, I've always thought that if we were going to try and pass that terror gap law to keep people on the terror watch list from getting guns, then we ought to clean the list first. I totally agree with you. It shouldn't have that kind of thing.
But the fact is, you weren't being honest when I first asked you. You should want people that are trained in the use of a firearm there, and that's the point. But the reality is most Americans would. But if you had your way, it'd be very difficult for Americans to get that pistol carry.
You know, Sean, what's really irresponsible, and you know what? Mort Zuckerman's Daily News should be sued. They're calling the head of the NRA a terrorist with his picture there. I mean, that's
a bad
outrageous.
idea. That's a bad idea.
That's slanderous. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I totally agree. I totally agree. They should not be doing that. I think Wayne LaPierre mourns like everybody else when there's a mass shooting. I disagree with them. It's a bad idea to be calling people like
right,
Sean, he ain't that bad. This guy ain't that bad.
There's hope for
he
this
could
guy.
hang out with us, this guy.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you hang with us, Mark? I don't know if you'd like that.
I can hang with you. I can hang
All right.
with you.
Thank
and
you.
I want to.
And coming up, is political correctness going to kill us? The 5 co-hosts, Kimberly Guilfoyle and Eric Bolling, they are up next to answer that question as we continue.